seemed to get better. I mean, it was like there was no maybe from the score wise, there might have been letdowns from coaching or whatever. But I'm just saying, it just seemed like everybody seemed to reach do what they needed to do on the field.
That was a challenge. Our district had some, some young teams, right? Del Norte Valley. They had some really young guys, and they're fighting their heart out. But they'll be there. In other words, but they just weren't right there at that point. So staying focused, was a little tricky. We did different things. We would spend maybe 10 or 15 minutes a week of watching film on some opponents that we felt we would face down the line, just to kind of keep that hunger there. We spent a lot of time watching Farmington film and Artesia film, and repeating our Goddard film and whatnot. Always just trying to find areas to grow. But again, that's a testament to the kids and their attitude. They were hungry since day one. They never really lost that hunger, even through the bye weeks. And we played Belen back to back, which is always tough to play a team back to back, especially a rival. But they just kept that hunger going. So I'm very proud of them for that.
I was going to speak on that. You play Belen your last game, which is, it's a rivalry game, and there's a lot of pride in that game and a lot of emotion between both teams. And you win them, you beat them on your last day of the season, and then you have to play them in your first playoff game. And how did you keep your guys focused on that game?
We felt that when you play Belen, or as that rivalry is, they're going to come out and punch you in the mouth, and they definitely did. It was a very tough physical game, but we've really focused on the things that we thought we made mistakes at, and try to focus on some things we thought we could do, and that was tough because we had a bye week in between there as well. But again, man,
that was my point. You had that bye week in there, and to keep them focused, you just came off a big win, and to keep them focused for 2 weeks was pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was difficult. We kind of adjusted our schedule a little bit as well, and try not to overdo it. And there's a fine line between overdoing it and not doing enough. So we adjusted our schedule a little bit. We did a lot of inter squad scrimmages. We did that throughout district as well. We would spend 15 minutes a day where we would go Los Lunas versus Los Lunas, just to stay getting after it, because going against our defense was always extremely difficult in practice as well. So that really helped, adjusting the schedule, going Los Lunas versus Los Lunas, and then just keeping that eye on the prize that this was all about getting the blue, and everything else was just a step in that direction.
Well, you win the game, and then you have Goddard. Okay, and Goddard's. It seems like over the last that's just a natural rivalry too, because of the way the games have ended. I mean, over the last 3 or 4 years, I know you didn't coach in them, but that rivalry, you inherited Goddard as a big time rivalry, and fortunately you got them at home, and I tell you what, they came in with a lot of energy, and they were very inspired.
Oh, for sure. They came out and punched us right in the mouth, right away. They took the first play to the house, on a very basic power concept that they run. So we knew it was going to be tough, and we knew they were fired up, and they're maybe a little angry as well about the first game. So, man, it was tough. But in the second half, the guys came together. Our quarterback kind of said, just give me the ball and let me run. Offensive line got after it, and they just took that game back, which says a lot about these kids.
Well, one thing we talked about the community with Los Lunas. I mean, normally football is considered, Artesia, Roswell, Goddard, and Belen and yourself, and over the last 5 or 6, 7 years, you're trying to change that the atmosphere in football. That it's just the northern part of the state. There's football in the northern part of the state.
For sure, and I think Coach Maupin did a good job of showing that as well when he was here. But we definitely wanted to tap into that, that kind of mentality. We knew, that the kids were here. We knew that they had it in them. It was just a matter of, getting things put together to get that out of them the right way. So, but definitely they're helping put Northern football on the map. And that's exciting to see. It's a little bit why I'm bummed that we're moving to 6A, because we didn't get an opportunity to defend that title. But decision's been made. We're going to respect that decision, and we're going to get after it.
I'll tell you what, we're going to come back and we're going to show you some highlights of your win against Artesia, and we're going to let you do a little play-by-play and take Sebastian Noel's and Ed Nunez's place. Put you on the spot.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor.
That was the only key. Is the way we.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili, breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Hey, welcome back.
Steve Davis Show. We've got Greg Henington, the head football coach at Los Lunas High School, and also the 2021 state champions, 5A. And hey, Greg, we're going to let Aaron do his thing. He put some work to this and bring back some memories of that game, and kind of give me your thoughts and the process, what was going on each one of these plays.
On the season, Artesia with 21 sacks. Sermon's back to pass. Quarterback draws good. Got room up the middle. Good yardage to the 40. Down at about the 38. So,
I mean, I'm no Bethany Miller, but I'll give it my best shot.
All right. Well, you know what? Hey, I do my best. But I tell you what your quarter, they come. This is Goddard coming right down at you, as you talked to earlier. And what was your thought going down that quick?
Shoot, we better get it together. Like I said, they came right out and punched us in the mouth, and we expected that. And it was a good thing for us. It really was. Wake up.
Well, I tell you, now we got some highlights of your team. It seems like it's all Goddard right now. I bet there was a lot of concerns with you and your team at this point early in this quarter.
Yeah, there was. At halftime, though, we talked to the kids just about, the things that we need to improve on in regards to our attitude, right? And they made that change, and defense came out and stuffed them right away.
I tell you, I was up at Highlands, University of Highlands, and I was with Richard Tripp. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Richard Tripp. He's an athletic director at West Las Vegas. He was keeping me posted, and I'm thinking, oh, wow, Roswell is still upset about the game that they lost, earlier in the season.
Throws it on the down and out, and it would have been a first down. It was intended for number 80 of our
the losing end of that, it's never fun. It is never fun.
And it's kind of like, you always worry it's a revenge game, but you have the fans, and, look at, it just seemed like everything at this point in the game everything was going Goddard's way on your own home field. It seemed like they controlled the home field at this point.
They did. Yeah, they did. That first half, they got after us good. They really did. And, you expect that from Coach White and Goddard. They're physical, they're tough, and they're always hungry. So they definitely got us that first half.
Well, what did you talk about, when you went into that first half?
We just addressed, number one, to stay calm, and we've had little problems throughout the year with, just slight attitude stuff, maybe pointing fingers a little bit. So we just redirected it and said, this is the time. This is the time that's going to define your whole season. Are we going to come together the way we know we can and turn it around? And that's exactly what they did.
Well, what I've been talking about Goddard, now we're talking about Artesia. I've just really have butchered this, but you're down, you make your comeback in that third and fourth quarter, and it's been, what are you thinking now, with 1:25 left here in this fourth quarter?
Pressure from number 47. What makes it a great game?
I was very impressed with with Paul Simmons, our quarterback, and the O-line. As far as offensively speaking, defensively, we did exactly what we had to do. But they just took over that game, and that's exactly what we needed.
Well, Artesia, former head coach, what were you thinking at this point? I mean, this is the first time this ever happened on this field.
The Artesia deal?
No, right here with the audience, being in the audience.
It's just fun. Everything about this whole thing has just been fun.
Well, I tell you what, that's great, because a lot of times coaching is so stressful and everything, but that's what you work for, and it seems like you've instilled that we work hard, but we still have fun, and a lot of coaches forget that.
That's one thing we thrive on. I mean, we have a few rules that we're very, very sticklers on, but especially with this group, we had a lot of personalities, so you kind of had to let them be themselves to an extent without crossing the line. And that, to me, that's what makes it fun. The biggest thing about this whole season was the connection, right? We had a great connection with the kids. I mean, a great connection, and that's hard to find.
Well, we have your post-game interview, I do believe, and we'll listen to it and see how I'm sure Ed Nunez, or I think Ed Nunez did the post-game.
Los Lunas
right.
40, Artesia 28. Los Lunas, first state title coach. So many emotions, man.
Yeah,
How do you feel? How do you feel?
Just trying to keep it together. Hats off to Artesia. They played their butts off, but credit goes to these kids. They did everything they're asked to do. They tough situation for them coming back, not having a coach in May, and then me coming in, little different philosophy, same goal, and they bought in and welcomed me. So all credit to them.
Well, Coach, you got a lot of roots in this community, a whole bunch of roots. You're the former head coach of Belen. A little bit nerve-wracking when Artesia started coming back, and they made some adjustments on Paul Sermians as far as the running attack. They made some adjustments,
right.
But you made some adjustments back. Talk a little bit about that.
The only adjustment we made was just, we try to do a couple things, but just the attitude. Our O-line and Paul had to take over that game to seal it, and that's exactly what they did. He's hard to tackle for 4 quarters.
He really is. I thought you did a great job, too, on that last 4th and 4. You knew Lopez was going for that flanker screen, and I thought your defense shut down the passing lane for Taylor. He didn't have a great passing lane, and really that was the game.
Right, it was, and that's credit to Coach Gutierrez, our defensive coordinator. He's done an outstanding job, just a fire plug, a lot of energy, does great with the kids, so credit to him for making that adjustment.
Coach Henington, go celebrate. Congratulations.
Thank you, I appreciate you.
You bet, man.
Well, how'd that feel? I tell you what, it seemed like Ed was more excited than you were. He was like, he's done a lot of your games this year.
Yeah, no, I was definitely extremely excited. It was just kind of a whirlwind, actually. Just the emotions didn't really hit me until a couple days later. So I mean, just watching that is almost surreal. It's hard to believe that it happened. But again, just a testament to our kids. They did just such an amazing job. And they came through every single week. I'm so proud of them.
Well, and you touched on it earlier, but I was going to save this. But you win the 5A state champion, and they reward you by moving you up to 6A. And how do you feel about that?
Well, that's completely out of our control. Like I said earlier, we would have loved to have a chance to defend that title at that level, but the governing body made that decision, so we're going to respect that decision 100%, and we're going to get after it. I believe in our kids. I believe in our coaches. Obviously, it's going to be a more difficult. Our goal is not going to change because we moved to 6A. We understand that it's just going to be that much more difficult. I mean, there's some amazing teams in 6A football, You know, some of them look like little junior colleges actually, but we're gonna get after it because we believe in these kids. We believe in the system.
Who's going to be in your district?
As of now, I think we got Albuquerque High, both Santa Fe schools, and Clovis. So I'm excited for that Clovis game. I haven't been able to actually compete against Clovis since well, I played them for a state championship in 1995, and then we played them for a state championship as a coach in 2007, and a couple playoff games. So those games are always a blast. Love going to Clovis. Love that stadium. Can't wait for that one.
Well, Greg, hey, thanks for coming on the Steve Davis Show, and good luck in 6A next year.
I appreciate you.